A very warm welcome everyone, my name is Nick and this is the 2-week roundup on the channel. We've got quite a lot to get through this time so we can't hang around. Been a few more videos than normal, been a few DRIVECLUB videos go up, a bit ad hoc, both the bikes and the cars, and also we started a Blundering series which is Colin MCRAE's Rally, which hopefully I'll get a bit better as time progresses. Before we come to the top 6, there was a couple of homebrews, ZX Spectrum homebrews we reviewed. One was by a subscriber to the channel called TERRAHAWKS by Gary James in 2014. It's a conversion from a Odyssey or video pack machine, converted really well. I'm told it runs a little bit slower than the video pack version, but I've never seen that so I don't know. But playing it on the Spectrum I thought it was a really good conversion. Graphics are good, sounds are good, moves really well. I prefer Gary's other game, Killer Bees. He also converted to this one, but that's just the nature of the game he converted it from. And the second game, which is also a homebrew. Now these people don't subscribe to the channel as far as I'm aware. I'd be very surprised they do. It was HORACE Goes to the Tower by the Mojon Twins in 2011, based on my favourite video game character of all time, HORACE. Based on those early games, Hungry Horace, Horace Goes Skiing and Horace and the Spiders. But this time Horace is got to get out of a tower over multiple screens. It's a platform game. It's the most advanced Horace game I've ever seen. Really good, so I was impressed by this one. So you can get hold of that, then do so. HORACE Goes to the Tower. Borrows some graphics from the earlier games, as I mentioned, Spiders and Hungry Horace, but well worth looking at. Right, we're moving quickly, aren't we? Also, the not Pinball Arcade, Zen Pinball 2, which are looking at the PlayStation 4. 2 medieval type tables. There was Excalibur. Both of these tables we're going to look at were published by Zen Studios in 2014. So Excalibur is based around the legend of Sir Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. There's the Excalibur is a sword which goes down the centre of the table, and by completing quests and jousts you must elevate yourself up in the realm and become a glorious knight. Second one is a little bit more cartoony than that, but medieval again, called Epic Quest. There's a character called Max, and it's like an RPG element to this one as well. By doing certain missions you get extra clothes for Max, extra weapons, and he must rid all evil from the realm, fighting them one at a time. There's imps and goblins. Both of these are quite a bit of fun. They don't go down in history as my favourite Zen Pinball 2 tables. They're conversions from earlier tables that came out in 2010 on the PlayStation 3 and earlier machines, and these are PlayStation 4 and had a bit of a reboot. So both okay. We're going through, deep breath here, we're going through the, as you might be aware if you're watching the channel, on the PlayStation 3, the Sega Drive, the Sega Mega Drive Ultimate Collection Pack, which came out in 2009. Had 40 games on there, we're going through them. This time we looked at Alien Storm, which is a 2D scrolling fighter, a bit like Golden Axe, but with different moves. Again, you can select 3 characters, 1 or 2 players, must defeat aliens that have come down to Earth. Not much variety to this game. The aliens are a bit samey apart from a change of colour, but what makes this game good is the mini games, where you go to a shooting gallery, in an electrical shop, in a supermarket, and some other places as well. So really good fun. All of these games are better in 2-player, I would say, but Alien Storm is another good one on there. And the other one we looked at on this was Sonic the Hedgehog SPINBALL, which is a pinball game where you must hit the Sonic all over the place onto different tables to clear ooze and toxic sludge from places. Already reviewed this on the Game Boy Advance, I think as the Sega Smash Pack. Good to see it on the PlayStation 3 as well. Graphics are a bit more stunning as you would expect on a larger screen. Right, reviewed a lot this time and looked at a lot. A few games didn't make it onto the top 6. The top 6 largely consist of ZX Spectrum games this time round, which please ZX Spectrum fans. But games that didn't make it are E.T. on the Game Boy Advance, published by New Kid Co in 2001. E.T.'s got a pretty bad rap on all systems it come out on. I know it's particularly bad on the Atari, but I've never seen that one. I don't know if the Game Boy Advance game is close to that or not. Essentially, E.T. over different levels is stranded on Earth. He must assemble a communication device so he can phone home and get away. Game is very, very boring, very, very flat. The first level involves him collecting flowers. Instead of just 5 to ease you in, you have to collect about 16 of them, and it gets very, very tedious. There's bugs on the map which you don't know where they're going. When you bash into them, it costs you too much time. You don't get any invincibility in that short space of time. You do bump into them. At the end, you think, why am I bothering? So it was E.T. on the Game Boy Advance. Now, as always, it's all about your personal views. We don't all think the same. So if you think differently to this, don't take to heart that I'm having a go at one of your favourite games. Even if it is E.T., put your comments below, and that's fine. That's how we all get along and share memories. The other two on the Commodore Amiga, I'm afraid to say, so first time ever 2 Amiga games didn't make it there, but it's my fault for picking average games. It was Mike Gree's Computer Pop Quiz from 1989, published by Elite Systems. If you see my other review miles back from a review of Question of Sport, again it's a quiz game. It uses the same engine, but instead of sports questions, it's doing pop questions. Unless you've got a big knowledge of 80s pop music when this game came out and before, you're in big trouble. But a selection of 2 teams, it's alright for a few goes. I'm not sure that you would keep coming back to it, so I'm not sure how much longevity or how much entertainment you'll get from that. And another game which didn't make it is Pinball Magic by Laurocell's French outfit that gave us Turbo Cup in 1990. Again, very basic. It feels like a mid-80s to early 80s game. I do love pinball. This hasn't got too much to it. It seems to be based around a 50s style pinball game. You do a few things, hit the ball through a gateway, the screen scrolls up, and then you get another set of tables. But it looks like it's been done through cut and paste, and the tables are very similar. So it makes you think, why am I bothering looking at these? I think there's about 10 or 12 tables to progress to, but all look rather the same. You have to compare all pinball tables on the Commodore Amiga, at least, with Pinball Dreams and Pinball Fantasies, and it's nowhere near in quality to any of those. Okay, right. That's done the beginning. Now, the top 6 then, the whole purpose of this video, Spectrum dominated, I'm afraid, or I'm pleased to say. In 6th place on the ZX Spectrum 48K was Jaws by Screen 7 Limited in 1989, based on the hit movie directed by Spielberg in 75, was it? Or 78? Anyway, 75 it might have been. The book came out the year before by Peter Benchley. Essentially, it tries to follow the events of the film, but doesn't really. There's a shark that swims across the top, but doesn't seem to pay any interest in you at all. You take a little mini submarine, explore various screens to try and assemble a gun, and then on the next stage, which I never got to, you have to blow up the shark in the end. It's quite quiet. There's no sound here. If there'd been sound involved, it would have pushed it quite high. It looks like an early Ultimate game, but without being an Ultimate game, but the lack of sound really kills it. Good license. There seems to be something majorly missing. So not a bad game, just a little bit flat from Screen 7 Limited. In 5th place is a TV quiz game. It's Blockbusters by TV Games in 1987. We're going to review a few of these games based on TV shows. We've done Play Your Cards Right, Bruce Forsyth, just to name one, but we will look at a few of them. Blockbusters in 87, based on a TV show hosted by Bob Holness. We'd have 2 people against 1 people. You go across a board, and by answering questions based on what letter the answer begins with, you go from left to right or top to bottom and have to complete a line to actually win. Doesn't have the goal run on this version like the TV show did. The computer has to get less right than you because he's going the shorter distance up and down, and you're going across. A variety of different questions. They didn't repeat when I was playing it, like Bob's Full House did the other week that we reviewed. So it's quite good. Animated Bob Holness, a lot to like there. It's not going to blow everything away, but in terms of recreating blockbusters, it does a good job. So 5th place. And in 4th place, again on the ZX Spectrum 48K, The Empire Strikes Back, converted by Domark in 1988. Now we will be looking at this at the Commodore Amiga as well at some point, but this and Star Wars, although the sounds are okay, they're a little bit weedy, I think they're not too bad. It's vector graphics. You're always up against it on the ZX Spectrum with the memory available to create this game. It's based loosely on the events of The Empire Strikes Back. You must fly first a snow speeder to destroy AT-ATs on Hoth, or Probots as well, Imperial droids. Then the next part of it, your Han Solo and Millennium Falcon must destroy TIE fighters, then go through the asteroid field without dying. It's a good bit of nostalgia. If you've got an Amiga, I'd play that version instead, based on the arcade cabinets. But yeah, a good game. So in 6th place we had all these on the ZX Spectrum. 6th place we had Jaws by Screen 7 Limited in 1989. In 5th place Blockbusters by TV Games in 87. And in 4th place The Empire Strikes Back by Domark in 1988. Okay, so what's made the top 3 this time? Sorry if I'm going a little bit fast, but we got a lot to fit in, and I don't want these videos to go on for 20 minutes, half an hour. You might do. If you do, put them below and we might change how it works, but generally about 12 minutes, 15 minutes. In 3rd place, on the ZX Spectrum for a change, is Android 1 by Vortex Software in 1983. Some people in the comments section didn't think too much of this game, but it's from an early 80s era, 83, which I'm a sucker for this era. It's very, very basic. You control a stick man over different screens, must go through a maze, shoot through walls to deactivate a reactor. That's essentially it, really. Must avoid bumping into things. If you do, you'll lose energy and eventually die. As soon as you get to the reactor, you need to get back to the start again. As soon as you've done that, the game just restarts on a more difficult level. Android 1, all in 2D. The sequel is in 3D, which we'll have a look quite soon, but a good game to see. Vortex Software are later to do more advanced games like Cyclone and TRL, which is Tornado Low Level. I've reviewed those games already, so if you want to look at those, then please do so. In 2nd place, an absolute classic. Many of you might have it in 1st place. It's the start of a big series of games. I don't know why I've taken so long to get to it, but I've got to it now. Is Dizzy, the Ultimate Cartoon Adventure by Codemasters in 1987. Graphics on this are really brilliant. Got a unique control system where Dizzy will somersault rather than just do a normal jump, which takes a bit of getting used to. I suppose it does a bit of that in Nodes of Yesod as well. But anyway, it's quite unique. I think there's 6 sequels for me to look at of this as well. But essentially a wizard called Zax is creating evil. You must then, to stop him, get different items over different screens to form a potion, put them in a can, then throw them over Zax. So it's one of those games where, as a kid, you just turn into an exploration game, a fun game walking around, and very few people would have completed it, but coded really well. I was really impressed by it. Dizzy, the Ultimate Cartoon Adventure, and as the weeks go by, now we kick this off, we will be looking at one maybe every couple of weeks or so to get through all of those. Okay, and in 1st place, not a ZX Spectrum game, leading the pack, but it's a very retro feeling game and absolutely brilliant. On the PlayStation 3 is Space Invaders Infinity Gene by Taito and Square Enix in 2010. Now, the idea of this game is based around Space Invaders from 1978, but it's using Charles Darwin's theory of evolution to gradually evolve it and evolve it. So the first level is just a normal Space Invaders. It's very basic. You think, what's this doing on PlayStation 3? By the time you get to stage 80 or 99, it's all over the place. The aliens have evolved into huge ships. It goes 2D, it goes 3D. There's different ships to unlock, different firepowers. It really retro feel with given modern day as well. So, you know, if you haven't already, it's quite a long video I did on that one, so I got so addicted to it. Have a look at that and tell me what you think. But it's certainly the best Space Invaders game I've ever played. When I asked people before what's their favourite Space Invaders game, a lot of people reference one on the DS. I think it's Space Invaders Extreme, I think, which I still haven't seen. But it's going to have to go a long way to beat Space Invaders Infinity Gene. It's quite spooky as well with the music, but absolutely fantastic. There's even an option where you can put a music CD in and it'll generate a random level based on that music it's hearing somehow. So in 3rd place was Android 1 by Vortex Software in 1983 on the Spectrum. 2nd place is Dizzy, the Ultimate Cartoon Adventure by Codemasters in 87. And in 1st place, the fantastic Space Invaders Infinity Gene by Taito and Square Enix in 2010 on the PlayStation 3. Oh, there we go. So, thanks for watching all the videos as always. If you like what you're seeing, please subscribe because it does help me, makes me stand out against other channels. If you can give it a thumbs up, that would be great. Any comments are always welcome and quite often I will answer them. So, videos going out tomorrow as usual, as they do every day unless we're hit by an asteroid. Until next time, take very good care of yourself and a very fond goodbye.
Goodbye.